Amish Tripathi's The Shiva trilogy became the fastest selling book series in the history of Indian publishing, with 2.5 million copies in print and over 70 crores in sales. Ananias catches up with the author, who talks about his latest, Sign of Ikshvaku, and the power of divine intervention, an Ananias exclusive. Amish's Shiva trilogy, The Immortals of Meluha, The Secret of the Nagas, and The Oath of the Vayuputras continues to rake in the big bucks, so much so that the publishers are now selling the book chapter by chapter.
No, I should clarify, these aren't independent stories. So it's like you're buying a book in installments. That's all that's happening. So you're not committing your entire 250, 300 rupees. You're committing only 15 rupees. Only if you like that chapter, do you buy the next chapter. So you're buying a book in installments. That's how it is. So your entry, becomes a little easier, because you're not committing too much money, too much time. And there may be some who will read the first 2-3 chapters and say, yaar ye kitab pasand nahi aa rahi. They may drop the book. That is also possible. The challenge is for the author to make sure that each chapter is so engaging that the reader wants to buy the next chapter.
His latest book, Sign of Ikshvaku, is the first book in the Ramachandra series. It is a fantasy reimagining of the Indian epic Ramayana. It follows the story of Ram and is a prequel to the Shiva trilogy. So how tough is it for Amish to pick the subject for his book?
So for 5-6 months I still couldn't make up my mind, and it usually, as it happens with me, whenever I can't make up my mind, Lord Shiva steps in and makes the decision for me. So there's an incident which happened at a Lit Fest where this was in Mumbai, someone came and said some things about Lord Ram, said some derogatory things about Lord Ram, which upset me a great deal. And I think perhaps that incident was meant to happen to me, because on that day I decided my next book series will be on Lord Ram. I started writing the next day. At that time I had written an article also. This would have been more than a year and a half back. It had been published in Hindustan Times, saying why I respect Lord Ram. So I had written an article also at that time. I've been told that by many readers that they like the combination of of a fast-paced story and philosophies mixed together, because I draw on philosophies from from our Vedas, Upanishads, from our texts, and also from from other cultures, from other religions. So I've been told that it's that combination which works for them. I'm not sure if I think of that when I'm writing. When I write, I just kind of go with the flow. But what I try and do is I read a lot, because if you read a lot, then all that knowledge can go somewhere in the back of the head and can come out in the story when it's meant to.
Amish has been a trendsetter in the publishing world. His debut work, The Immortals of Meluha, broke into the top seller chart within a week of its launch, owing to his creative marketing strategies. Forbes India ranked him among the top 100 celebrities of India thrice in a row, and he is a brand in himself.
So there are writers who are becoming popular, and I think that's a good thing. Now to each his own. I do the kind of there are many endorsements I say no to, because I think I'm not correct for that. But there are some endorsements, like one was for a reading device, so which I said, yeah, that, because I love reading, so it fits in exactly with what I represent. So I do the kind of things which appeal to me. But now book sells all across the country. Now there are a few books which sell in the lakhs. There are 2 authors whose books sell in the millions. So you have to travel a lot. And unlike in a movie, where the entire revenue happens in 1 week, in a movie, normally by the second week, the next movie comes in. In a book, it's not that way. A book, in fact, earns revenue for years and years. You will find that on the top 10 bestseller lists, it's normally the same books which remain. Which means that for the marketing phase, you have to spend at least 3-4 months, because you have to make sure that your book ends on a good plateau, that you market in so many places, because a book sale is a much longer process. सिर्फ एक हफ्ते में पूरा रेवेन्यू नहीं हो जाता है, वो तो महीनों तक, सालों तक बिकता रहता है. So that's a challenge. It's a much longer process, marketing.
Powered by Ananias.